got the tractor warming up, and she wanted to do something fun, so I sent her out on an adventure. Right here is where the trailer was for the concrete forms. So they had all their wood right here, and they're constantly nailing and pulling nails and nailing and pulling nails. So there's a bunch of nails over here, and I get it, it's a construction site basically. So I have one of those like 12-inch or 16-inch long, you can see it right there in her hand, magnet bars from Harbor Freight. And now that's her metal detector. She's on a hunt for all these nails. We started burning them, so the easiest source was in the ash pit right there. And then she got what looks like a quart or maybe a 2-liter glass jar we found out in the woods, some trash. And now it's her metal collection, picking up all these nails for me. I love it. All right, I'm a little low in the frame, but that's kind of on purpose. Let's talk about these trees. I've got some good news and some bad news. The bad news first. See all these beautiful pines? I'm taking them down. They're coming down. And that kind of sucks, but it's actually a blessing in disguise. It sucks because I ultimately wanted to leave these pines where they are. I want to be able to see through this big, tall canopy of old growth trees and just have a nice line of sight through it. I've always loved that look. And on the other side of the driveway, or coming up the driveway, we kind of have this like tree tunnel, and it opens up into this focus that is those trees right there. So to my right, on the west side of the clearing, was the initial area that we wanted to have as a fruit orchard. But because we're being forced to take this down, we still want this to be a beautiful focal point. So why not have the fruit orchard over here? We have 1.3 acres to work with, and this will be the showcase thing as you drive up our driveway, which means you're going to have different colored blooms throughout the year, or throughout the seasons, I guess. And I think it's going to look nice. Oh, you tied your doll on. She riding with you? Okay, cool. Well, yeah. She's your little sister? Cool. I'm happy for you. Well, make sure you don't go too crazy. She'll get motion sickness being all tied up onto the bike. Have fun. So I've already taken 2 trees down over there. My wife's on the mini tractor and the yard glider moving stuff around. But yeah, every one of these has to come down, and the reason is beetles. Beetles are infecting our pines, and they need to come down. It sucks. I looked up at some resources online, and everything that I found is you basically have to flag off whichever ones are bad and then mark out 100 feet away from them and take down all the pines within 100 feet. That was recommended by some wildlife department, something or other in Georgia. I found a video online anyway. I learned a lot about them. Basically, it's very difficult to get rid of the beetles, and it is what it is. I don't know if you can see it from here, but we've got some really bad death over there. So sporadically throughout this whole pine stand, there's a bad one right there that's all dead. You'll see these dead pines, and just about every single one of them has sections that are browning. A couple of them over here we've watched over the past couple months just completely go from green to brown. And yeah, the beetles are killing them. So our goal was to keep this visual line of sight open, because that's straight down the driveway. And when you're over there looking back this way, you're still in kind of a tree tunnel. So it kind of wraps in from top and bottom, and it opens up into this beautiful view of these big pine trees. And we want to keep some type of showcase here, some type of interesting something or other here. And if we can't have these pines, well, what's the next best option? Well, that's our fruit orchard. On that side of the clearing over there, you can see the leaves changing colors on the underbrush, the hardwoods over there. We were going to clear off a little bit, maybe about 1/4 of an acre for a fruit orchard, but because our hand is being forced here, this makes much more sense to have a fruit orchard over here. It will have way more plants in it than the other side was, just from a space consideration. Yeah, look how much these are all just gone. Just gone. And one way you can tell if the beetles are infecting it is, I don't know if you can see around the base of that tree. See all that yellow? That's sap. Well, let me climb up here. This is, oh no, this is actually sawdust. These are sawdust piles from the beetles getting in here. On some of these you can see like these globs of, it looks like just glue hanging out right there. It almost looks like some type of insect larva, but it's sap that's crusted over. Let's see if I can't go around. But anyway, you can clearly see all the sawdust on this tree. All the sawdust on this tree. Well, beetle dust, not saws. Let's see if we can't find some. See if we can't find some big holes. This is kind of what I was talking about with the sap. You'll see this, the evidence of this sap coming out and crusting up, much more so than that little spot right there. Well, heck, you can see all the holes in this one. Just ate it all up. Here's another good example. All right, so beetles have killed the tree, right? Obviously, that's not green anymore. Let's go to the base of the tree. Yeah, the base of the tree has a belt of sawdust, beetle dust. Beetle dust. I feel like I'm about to say Beetlejuice 3 times. Oh, here's a great example. This is what I was looking for. This is the sap pockets coming out. And it turns pretty hard. Yep, all the way up this tree. Man, all the way up this tree. Holy cow. So yeah, these are coming down. Whether I'd like to keep them or not, doesn't matter. They're coming down. So on one hand, yeah, it does kind of suck that we are losing these pines. But on the other hand, that's not the end of the world, because we have a backup plan that I think is going to be better than the original plan. So sometimes, you know, sometimes life gives you lemons and you make a lemonade, right? I'd much rather have lemonade than a pile of lemons. So I'm going to jump on the chainsaw, and I'm not jump on the chainsaw. Oh, that wouldn't be fun. I'm going to get the chainsaw out. I'm going to start cutting these down, limbing them up. And my wife is going to, whenever she's ready, start wood chipping. Start chipping all the tops. Everything we can run through the wood chipper, we'll chip. Everything that we can save for logs, we will save for logs. And anything in between, we're just going to pile up and see if we can find a use for them in the next few days. If not, then we'll burn them. Regardless, we're going to have a tremendous amount of organic matter going right back into the forest floor right here, which will be a fantastic start for the fruit orchard. One thing that I am doing is I'm cutting these stumps a little tall for 2 reasons. Number one, the bottom of the stump, or the bottom of the trunk rather, it flares out just a little bit, and if you leave that flare, it kind of makes it sit funky on the sawmill. So I'm going to cut them a little bit higher than what I typically would, and that way I can come back and cut them real short before I do the in preparation for stump grinding. But I could use that little stub section right there as a seat to go around a fire pit area. So yeah, good resources all the way around. None of this is going to be wasted. Well, it occurred to me I should probably take a bunch of before video so I can see the big transformation after we get these trees down. I really love the way that the driveway turned out. It's got a couple S curves in it. So this is the first right-hand curve. Then it goes to the left and circles around the clearing up there, or not the clearing, the focal point, right? So this little straightaway right here, as soon as it straightens out, you've got this tree canopy coming over the top of the driveway to make it feel like a tree tunnel. And as you get closer, this focal point in the middle starts to expand, turn into a focal area, and then your line of sight drastically increases. So near the road, which is this way and behind me, everything this way basically, we wanted to keep dense vegetation so it furthers a feeling of privacy as you come in here. But once you do get in here, we want the feeling of this large, grand escape, I guess you could say, to really feel evident. And the way that this just opens up visually really helps that. So once you get up here, you have a good line of sight through the trees and into the clearing. And if you've seen any of the previous videos, you've probably seen all this. But I really wanted to document the before here, before we start chopping them all down. And if these trees can't stay, which we've already established that that is the case, having this as a fruit orchard right here that we have to drive around and also look through, I think that's going to be great. All the different types of plants that we plant in here, we're going to have different colors as they bloom. It's going to look so beautiful, I think, if we can, you know, design it in a nice, organized and neat fashion. Now I want to touch on this because I want to have all of this, like I said, as a fruit orchard. And I previously mentioned this strip over here, either doing a food plot or like a wildflower plot for pollinators. Well, if this is going to be the fruit orchard, then that tells me immediately this is going to be a strip for pollinators. So we'll do this whole section over here in wildflowers and different types of big flowers. And then this will be the fruit orchard. We can look through the fruit orchard depending on how we design it, depending on if we maintain line of sight through here. We'll be able to see through the clearing and whatnot still. So that's the plan. So I don't know if you can see the slab. About where that smoke is coming from is where the slab is. So right in the middle of the visual left and right is where the shop will be. And then on the other side of that, a couple of years from now, will be the house. So yeah, I think for sure a fruit orchard is not only an amazing backup plan, but I think it's going to be nicer. I think it's going to be mo better in the long run. Weapon of choice for today is my new Husqvarna 460 Rancher. I've had it for a little while. It's not really new anymore. I've already been using it quite a bit. Enough so that that's my second chain I just put on it. I already sharpened the first one down. Use it quite a bit. Anyway, this is a nice saw, and I gotta get to work. Enough talking. Let's get to cutting. Oops. I've got a time-lapse camera in that tree. I gotta get that down real quick. Okay. Our hinge is right there. It's not going anywhere. I don't know if I should get that down or not. I've got it wedged on that side. It's definitely not going anywhere. Probably could have got away with cutting a little bit more of that hinge wood away. Those last few wedge hits were a little more than what was necessary. Easy peasy. Slow and steady wins the race with this kind of a task for sure. But that'll give me plenty enough to cut this nice and smooth, cut this bottom piece out, use this as a seat around a fire, and then grind the stump. I wanted to go there. I ended up going there. So off just a little bit. It hit that stump and shifted off to this side. Close enough. Got to get a little bit better at aiming, but close enough. That's not too much. That's not too far off for a rookie. Got a late start and didn't really work too long. It's about 3 p.m. and we started around noon. What did we start around noon, right?
Yeah, probably.
Noon or a little bit after. And I just can't keep going in long stretches. I've got something going on with my neck. Last day I did a bunch of PTO work. Not PTO work, 3-point work. I did a lot of box blading. And I turned my head for several hours looking behind me. My whole left side right there. I don't even know if you can see because there's sun. Anyway, my whole left side of my neck tensed up real bad on the 19th of October. That was the 19th is when all this happened. Today's the 23rd, 22nd. Yeah, today's the 23rd. And I still don't have full range of motion in my neck. I don't know if it's a pinched nerve or muscle or whatever, but oh, that hurts. I can't hardly bend, and then when I'm running the chainsaw, I'm constantly bent over, putting more pressure on my neck. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees down. Most of the limbs cut up. Most of them are mulched already. Let me flip you around. We cut down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these 2 are already down. So 5 trees today. Chopped up a bunch of the limbs, mulched a huge pile, and I gotta call it quits. The main thing is, before they start in on the shop, which is either next week or the week after, I want to get at least all of these down. Just at the very least, all of these down, and then I can work on this through the winter. The reason why I started over here is because my plan was to get this cleared so then I could start falling them this way. So there's that. You guys ready to go get some showers and go home?
Yes.
Well, go home then get showers?
Yes.
Yeah. We're all fatigued. Huh?
That's my packet. This is where I'm driving.
Well, she's not fatigued.